Welcome to the Soulful Surgeon Podcast with Dr. Lisa Hunsicker, a sanctuary for healthcare workers. In this space, we honor your stories, your struggles, and your triumphs. Here, you are more than your role. You are seen, heard, and celebrated. Join me as we explore conversations that nourish the heart, elevate the mind, and remind us why we chose the path of healing. This is your time. This is your place. This is the Soulful Surgeon Podcast. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Soulful Surgeon Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Lisa Hunsicker, and I'm really excited today because we have Niki Smirni here today, and you're joining us from Greece.
Yes, that's true.
All the way across the pond. And so thank you so much for doing this. It's early morning here in the United States, but it's evening for you. So thank you so much for joining us. Everyone, I want to introduce you to Niki. She is a pioneering wellness visionary who is also a transformational leadership expert and founder of the company Travel Gems, which I have personally had the wonderful experience. Like, we went to Portugal, and so we got to see how wonderful Niki's programs work. We did a retreat with Deepak Chopra, and Niki, you were amazing for that. Also, she is got 20 years of experience in the corporate strategy, psychology, and personal development, and she collaborates with global thought leaders like Deepak Chopra, Esther Perel, and many, many others. She's a lifelong student of humanity. She holds 2 master's degrees in transformational leadership and international marketing, and draws from philosophy, spirituality, and business to empower people to evolve authentically and to live with clarity and connection. She's a proud mother of twin boys and lives between Switzerland and Greece. So you worked us in between your travels. So thank you so much. Her journey is one of vision, resilience, and evolution, earning her the 2024 National Wellness Visionary Award and features in global media. Niki, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Of course. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So what's on the agenda for Travel Gems? Tell me a little bit more about Travel Gems so our audience knows what you do. And I can tell them because we had an amazing time in Portugal. So, but tell our audience what Travel Gems
So,
is.
Travel Gems is the leading European retreat company. We do retreats in 9 European countries. And when I'm talking about retreats, I'm talking about like journeys where like-minded people meet. And you know what I mean, like-minded people, because you have been in one of these trips. And we use 3 strategic pillars in order to help people take a next step in their lives. The 3 strategic pillars are education, evolution, integration. So we want people to come to the retreats, learn from the best about the subject that they are interested in, and then to evolve due to social interaction, due to learning, but also due to the amazing place they visit at that moment, and then to integrate whatever they learn in their daily lives. Because if they don't, they are going to be just in a bubble, for 5 days and then go back to a hectic life. But we don't want that. We believe integration is key in order people to have really like a big change in their lives. And the reason is that the purpose of Travel Gems is the following. We want to build a world full of authentic human smiles by enhancing people's well-being. And we do this by doing these retreats. So this is about Travel Gems. That's what we do. We do retreats with amazing teachers. I lead also in many retreats. And that's what we do.
So, when we were in Portugal, we did many different things. And for the audience, so they know, we went to the Algarve in Portugal, and we spent some time with Deepak Chopra and you as well, and Sarah Platt Finger. And so such a great crew of people to be able to just sit, and it's not like you're part of 300 people. It was a very small, intimate group, and I know for your retreats, many times you even prefer 12 to 15 people to try and keep it as intimate as possible. And I think one of the wonderful things that, as you were talking about, it's nice to step into that bubble. And I know that even when we go to medical conferences, you step out of your busy medical life and then you go off on this trip to your conference or your retreat or whatever, and you're immersed and you have all of these incredible epiphanies. But what you take home and what you implement may not be what you think you're going to. You have a strategy and you think about it, but then when you get home and you try to translate it into real world life. And I know as a healthcare worker, it's really hectic. And I have all these ideas and I sit on the plane and I map out what's going to happen. And then the first moment I walk back into the office or step into the OR, it's doctor, I need. And then all of a sudden it becomes just like massive information overload and massive responsibility. And then that old way of thinking, it's this process that keeps coming over and over again. So you want to get back to it because that's what's comfortable. And I feel like in many cases, we as a community and the healthcare community are on autopilot. And so,
100%.
so
Yes.
talk to me about what you think about autopilot, because I feel like that's something that's huge for us because we have to navigate such intense situations. But I don't think we ever come out of it. It's not something that we check in and go on autopilot, and then when we leave, we come off autopilot. I feel like over the years, it's just who we are and what we do.
First of all, I need to congratulate you for doing this podcast. And the reason is that I think that helping all the personnel who has to do with health, it doesn't matter the exact profession, because all the phasma, the big phasma of the medical profession is difficult as a profession. That's 100% sure. At the same time, it's an amazing profession because you have the privilege to deal with human lives. It's great responsibility, but I think responsibility at the same time is something extremely good for humans. And I believe and I hope that all the medical professions, they are good humans. And this means that they want to create good in this world. So, yes, I find it great. At the same time, due to the fact that you are overwhelmed from so many cases that you have in front of you, when you're doing like your daily schedule, you have so many things to do and so on, you become doctors, let's say, that they start having a life in autopilot. And this means that you start doing everything that you do every single day, not very consciously, but because you know this very well. So you do something, let's say, like not humans, which is like autopilot means is something that it's not human, right? Because a human needs to have some rest. A human needs to have problems. Every human has problems. There is not the human, it's not a human if it doesn't have problems at home or at work. And but we ask from the doctors or anyone from the medical professions not to have any problems. How is this possible? That's why I think that doing your work in autopilot, of course, many times you say it's necessary because I don't have time, but I would question that by saying this. Do you think is this responsible?
Probably not.
I'm just
I would
saying.
say no. I would say no. I I think it's
Okay.
hard because I think as healthcare workers, it's just what we do. And
Yeah.
Many times, if you ask us, like if we're talking to a patient, we can counsel patients in exactly the things that need to be done that are very human. But to turn that around, we don't we don't live that life, and we don't expect that from us, and we don't teach others to expect that from us as well. We allow that autopilot to just go, and we allow people not to see us because we don't even see ourselves.
So, as a Greek, I love philosophy. And I always use in my method, in my book, and in my retreats as well, the Socratic method, which basically is how to reframe your thoughts and the words you say during your day. And this is very important because it's the different way of perspective, of seeing different perspectives, and opening to different perspectives means that it gives you different solutions in your mind. So let's say that we start one day, we say, oh my God, I'm going to have a hectic day. I have 72 hours practice. What I'm going to do. This is one way. The other way is I start 72 hours. I need to be focused in everything I do. And I need to be responsible. Yes, but at the same time, this means that whenever I find some time to rest, I need to do it. And this can be through breathing exercise that I can do in between. It can be through very focused exercises to 2 minutes or 5 minutes, and then to proceed. So, because I have the privilege to save many lives. So it's different perspective, yes, but, and I know that you would think, "Oh, what is he talking about? I don't have time, not even to sleep. I don't have time to eat or to drink water," right? But I
It's
think
true.
that, right? Yes. So let's say something that someone can do during a difficult day like that. Our biggest teacher, Deepak Chopra, he has a great acronym for that. Would you like me to tell you about it?
Yeah, that would be great.
So he says whenever you have a very difficult moment, and it cannot be only during your practice, it can be at home. When you come back, you are completely exhausted and your baby start crying and wants something. And at the same time, your wife asking you why we don't plan a trip and so on, you just want to go to sleep because you had a hectic day, right? So you just say the acronym STOP. And this means the following: S, stop. T, take a breath. Then observe. Observe your feeling at that specific moment. It can be stress, worry, anger, whatever. You don't judge your feeling, you just observe your feeling. And then finally, proceed. So you come back from your work, from an exhausting day, and after that, you say, okay, let's discuss about it, but just give me 10 minutes. I want to have some rest, and we're going to discuss everything that we will do this summer, let's say, something like that. Because I'm not a doctor, I have nothing to do with that, so I don't know what you say during your practice. That's why I went to home. So this is one thing you can do. Another great exercise you can do during during a difficult day at work is the following. Would you like to do an exercise, Lisa?
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay. Okay.
And the audience, you guys, you can do it as well. So follow
Oh,
along with us. So you'll be doing all the people in the podcast world.
fantastic. So I would like all you beautiful people who listen to this great podcast, to close your eyes for a minute. Close your eyes for a minute. Please think about something that really works in your life. Something that works nice in your life. It can be a person, it can be a habit, it can be a place. Please associate this with a feeling. Keep this feeling for a moment. Open your eyes, please. So, Lisa, what was the feeling you felt?
The best word is yummy.
Ah, that's good. I like that.
It's very yummy. It was very relaxed. It was very gentle. It's very loving, very safe,
Safe,
peaceful.
safe, peaceful. And how much? I like it. It was 1 minute,
Right.
maybe 1 minute. I hope that we have this 1 minute during a very difficult day. So if we do this, it will help us. Like our heart becomes softer and our mind becomes more clear to take the right decision. Because the responsible medical profession has, like, this is a great thing that you are all responsible for human lives. Yes, but you need to be responsible for yourself first of all. How is this possible to be responsible for others if you are not responsible towards you? Right?
Right.
A great thing that, like, I have in my book a very serious part regarding values. And I believe that values, like, they are like a compass in our life in order to show us the way. Let's say that we believe that one of our values is help or care. And I assume that for many doctors, care is a value. How, if someone says that care is one of their values, it cannot use it only as the nice word because it's a nice word. They must live by that. Meaning, yes, I care about others. Yes, I care about myself. So, one exercise we do in my book, The Method, and in the retreats is how you do this, how you practice care. Like, you came to the retreat, that was that was a practice of care for yourself. If every day you don't sleep and you wake up during the night because you feel that you haven't done something well, is this caring? No. So you need to understand how you live through your values. And this is very important, especially for a profession that they know so well. They are great students. They were great students. So the moment they realize the etymology of each single value, and the values are not just ethical values like responsibility, integrity, care. Okay, there are other type of values. There is a whole science. It's called axiology. And the values are like, there is aesthetic values, there are holistic values. So the moment you understand what values represent you, then you know better how to act without effort in the most difficult situation, which can be in your professional life or in your personal life.
I love that.
Thank you.
I feel like we have so many situations that are difficult situations that occur. It, and I think the way that we show up for our patients, and many times how we show up when we get home after our days, we're not very present. And I think that can really help unwind that. I think the more that we can care for ourselves throughout the day, the more present I feel like I am to actually hear what patients are saying and really be able to connect with them. I also feel like when I come home, I can do that as well. But sometimes I feel like there is a little bit of, like you said, taking 10 minutes to stop and pause and clear out whatever the day has been and then go home. I think one of the little tricks that I have found over the years, I have at my office, there is a work desk where we all are coming and going, and we all have our iPads, and we all have to stop. And this is where we're getting the charts and stuff. And I have two things there. And one is a very, very small, it's like a painted rock, if you will, and it just says joy on it. And Amberly Lagos gave that to me in Hawaii at a retreat that we did in Hawaii together. And it just makes me stop in that moment. And I have to stop with whatever chaos is going on. And I just think of something that is joyful to me, very much like the exercise we just did, to just begin to bring my nervous system down. The other thing I have, and as many of you all know, I adore Patrice Washington, and I am a big supporter of the Redefining Wealth community. And Patrice gave me this little tiny, it's about this big, little tiny pineapple. And the thing is, a pineapple doesn't grow. You plant a pineapple and it's not there a week later. It takes, 18 to 24 months for that to grow. And it just reminds me that this is a process. And it's the long game, not the short game. And I don't, yes, I'm in all these moments, and some of them are very urgent and crisis laden, but others are not. But it's really trying to set your mind of, okay, this is the long game, and you need to take care of yourself, and you need to take care of this process as well. And I invite anyone who has that busy life to just put some little memento that just triggers your brain to like pause. And I do appreciate the stop method, because pausing and breathing again resets your nervous system. And I think one of the things in medicine, our nervous system is humming unglued many times, and it's just so overwhelming. There's so much going on. You're managing all these things simultaneously and perhaps a crisis at the same time. And just how you feel emotionally and physically is really unpleasant. And so that's where that autopilot is really great, because I can just say to myself, this isn't even happening. So I'm just going to keep plowing through. But really taking those moments, especially breathing and kind of triggering my parasympathetic system to wake up and say, there's no fight or flight or freeze situation going on. There's no tiger in the room.
Yep.
And so I just need to reset that. So I appreciate that. So let's talk about your book. So tell me a little bit about the method.
Oh, the method. Here's the method. I have it here. So the method,
Is it
well, I
is
would
it
say,
available in the US?
well, actually, we are, look, I launched it in Greece like 2 months ago. And now the publisher is trying to get it in Amazon. And I hope that very soon it will be in Amazon. So
Okay.
I will start, but what Deepak said, because he endorsed the book, he said that the method is a luminous guide to personal transformation. So what he meant about that is like actually it's a practical guide. It's a very, very practical guide that combines the three words that seems completely related: philosophy, spirituality, and business. And why is that? Business needs to bring results, financial results. Humans, they just let their life just go with no deadlines, with no plan, most of the times. And I can see this. And I'm not talking about financial results. I'm talking about results, which result might be happiness. Our ultimate goal of all of us is happiness. So I can see this from the people who come to my retreats. They come and they say, "Where do I want to go? How can I get there?" But they forget the most important question of all, which is, who am I? And how you know where would you like to go and how you can get there if you don't really know who you are. It's like running a business without knowing the business sector you are in. So this is the starting point of the book. The starting point of the book is explaining who am I. So I use philosophy and spirituality, and I include this in practical business models in order for people to take their lives in their hands and just live a happy and fulfilling life. And I learned this, to be honest, Lisa, like the hard way, because I wasn't always like a spiritual person. I'm now 55 years old. Till 40, I was a crazy executive, corporate executive, running like from country to country, like I was traveling 10 days per month. I don't remember how many hours I was sleeping. I was multitasking all the time. I was head of strategy in big multinationals, opening markets like India, Russia, big markets and difficult ones. And I thought that that was it. And there was one day that I decided that something didn't fit. So I decided to quit. I quit. They didn't fire me, I quit. That was the funny thing because I was extremely high paid professional and I start my own business. With having good intentions, I start a small startup. I invest all my money in this startup. Single mom, that was also very important, as you understand. And the business model I created at that specific moment didn't work. I had zero sales. And this point, which was like a catastrophe for me, that I was an executive, that everything I did was like gold, it has great results. And I start my own business having zero results. It was crazy for me. So I had to redefine what success really means. So I had to redefine who am I. From that point, I was deep in spirituality and philosophy, and I found my purpose, which now is the purpose of Travel Gems. And I'm very happy because I live a life with no effort. I need to tell you something that it might sound crazy. I have no problem working Sunday, Saturday, every day. I don't feel I work because I can see in the smile, in the eyes of people, how much they understand the value of what they gain if they come to the retreats. So I found my purpose, yes, and I live my purpose to help people have an authentic smile. And that's what I present in the book. I present the way you can find who am I, what is your purpose, and how you can get there. And something that is very important is to find who you are becoming in this journey. Because I found it also from my life that everything was evolving through this process. And I was evolving through them, through this process. So the book has theory, it has practical examples from people I met in retreats, and every single chapter has exercises, many exercises, in order people to understand. So it's not a book that you read, that you just leave beside you on your bed. No, it's a book that you read, and maybe if you read it after 1 year, you will see other things about yourself. So it's self-awareness. It guides you to become a awakened human and see clearly your life in a way that it's very responsible for you and others. Because if you change, also others change. So if you want to bring good in this world, you need to become yourself this good. This is it.
That's wonderful. I think that one of the things, and I can only speak from my personal perspective, but I think a lot of people in healthcare, I think we go into healthcare with this very naive version as we're young people and we're just starting out. We go to medical school and we're trying to get there, and we're so excited because all we want to do is we want to help people. And I think that in some respects, we have no idea who we are at that point. We just know who we're trying to be. And we're always trying to chase that next carrot of like, okay, well, I have to graduate college, and then I have to graduate med school, and then I have to do internship, and then I have to go on to residency, and then maybe fellowship, and then I have to go get a job. And will I be in private practice or academia or corporate? Like, so there's always the next layer, and it's never really a focus of who is Lisa, the person, like who am I, and what really makes me happy. And I think the other thing that you mentioned is what is your purpose? And I think that what we generally start medicine with is a very simple purpose of like, I just want to go help people. And what we end up finding in that process is that it's a very, very complicated process that we had no idea what that is. And it spills over into many aspects of our life. And I think if you asked many healthcare professionals who've been doing medicine, whether they're a nurse or a physician or a PA, it doesn't really matter. You talk to someone who's done medicine for a long time and say, what's your purpose? And sometimes it might be something like to wake up and get out of bed. It's so not what really, like, spiritually and intuitively, like inside me, who am I and what's my purpose and why am I getting up? And what is it that I'm trying to do with my day? And I think that gets lost in a lot of this. And I think what what we need for many people in our community is a roadmap that takes us home to ourself.
100%. Because no one is broken, Lisa. No one. We are pure. And the purpose of this, the main objective of this, is to find ourselves, to find our authentic self. And our authentic self would never say, my purpose is just to wake up. But they would say, yes, I want to help people for sure, but they would say it, or maybe they will find something else to say, because I don't know. Every person is different. They will find what is their path to be happy and live a fulfilling life. Because this is very important. If you are not happy in this profession, then this means that you don't live your purpose. This is very clear. And I know it sounds very strange what I'm saying, but it's very clear. Because to be human means that you are a happy human. It's like the divine never did something else, that's what we need to be. We are not came to this world to become miserable and someone who tries to wake up. So yes, we need to be responsible to find ways, or not escapes, but ways to redefine what it means for us. A, to be human. B, to be really helpful to others.
One of the things when we were talking earlier that you mentioned was how you start your day. And I think many people in healthcare, the day starts early, and you start your day off with people and managing problems and crisis and all of those things, and then you come home and so you're completely wiped out. Tell me how you start your day.
Okay, so first of all, I wake up very early. I am a 5 a.m. person. So I wake up at 5. And these morning hours are very precious to me because they are the only hours that there is silence. So the first thing I do is I prepare my espresso, my coffee, and I have my gratitude journal. And the last 12 years, there is not even one day that I remember without not writing in this gratitude journal. So I write 3 things that I feel grateful for, and the associated feeling with that is exactly like the exercise we did just a while ago. And this helps me so much. I write things about, like, say, the birds I hear outside of my door, or about the coffee I drink, or for the fact that my kids are healthy and safe, or for the fact that I am healthy myself and I feel great in my house, wherever. Okay. Then I want to meditate. For me, it's a long process, but for some others, can be even 5 minutes, even 10 minutes. Meditation helps so much. I meditate for around 45 minutes. For me, this is very important because everything I do during the day becomes so much more efficient if I meditate. And to be honest, after meditation and gratitude journal, I I'm ready to fly. Really. I feel so good. So even this will not last. It's a great feeling for that moment. Then I do my training. It depends on the times. Maybe it can be half an hour, it can be 45 minutes. So I do my training,
So exercise.
exercise 100%, and then I start my day. For me, it's like, okay, I have to wake up like my son and do specific things, I and then I have to go to my office. I stay up too late, and so on. But the way I start my day makes a big difference. So if I don't meditate, I can see myself like I'm more anxious. I have done the meditation course, and one key question was, what is the benefit of in the exercise, in the finals, what is the main benefit of meditation? Do you feel the meditation during your practice or afterwards? The truth is that the key benefit of meditation is after you practice meditation. Like my husband always tells me, oh, you meditate, because I become, more calm, more smiling. I always love him. I love everybody. And this is a great feeling. Why we cannot start our day like that? Why we need to start our day? Oh my God, this will be a very difficult day. It's immediately you give like a label to your day, it's like you want to have a difficult day. It's like you see a problem and you don't see the opportunity. This is it.
And is there anything for you, like to close your day out?
Well, first of all, I sleep very early. Like at 9:30, I'm in bed. Uh, we have like some specific rituals because we don't spend much time with my husband because of our jobs. So the moment I came back home, we have like a ritual of discussing mainly the good parts of our day, and we avoid saying many difficult parts. So we always say, I have a difficult day, this happened, but we don't expand it in a way that we make it huge and more difficult. We try to empower our day by focusing on the good things that happen. And this is a ritual we have. If, of course, there is something very important and difficult we need to discuss, we discuss it. But we try to focus on the positive aspects of the day. And then this is it. We just have dinner and we go to bed. Like we don't have like a very, we are not party animals, just a bit. But I'm very content. Like in New Year's Eve, I felt, okay, we don't do crazy things, but I feel very satisfied with my day. And this is something that I have in my book. I call it the PPT, my personal point of time. It is fully related to that. It has nothing to do with age or something. It has to do with the life stage that I am now. My kids are 21 years old. you know they are like they are old enough to do their own thing. Okay, I am an adult that I love reading. I forgot to say that before going to bed. I love to read. I love reading. I love to be more relaxed. But believe me, my day is too tight with meetings, with 1 million things. Like my employees comes to my office all the time. But even that, even to the most difficult moments, I can see that the morning meditation I did helps me so much.
Thank you. Thank you. And I invite everyone else to maybe consider adding that. I know that that has been just a very powerful routine for me as well. And as a surgeon, I have to get up and I have to be in the OR early. And there really is not a time that I really am comfortable skipping that because I do see such a significant difference in how I show up and how I perform. And like you said, the clarity and really even taking those quick, brief pauses, even in surgery, if there's a difficult situation that's happening in surgery, taking that moment to pause, doing the stop is so incredibly helpful and allows you just to switch and refocus. So as we close, let's talk about, so how do people find you?
Okay, first of all, they can find me. I have a site,
Okay.
nikismirni.com, nikismirni.com. This is my site. Also, in all social media, this is my name, and they can find me like that. Hopefully, very soon in US, the book will be in Amazon and in Barnes and Nobles, and of course in my retreats. Like this June, we do a method retreat in Switzerland, in Zermatt, in this amazing place that I love. With Matterhorn, we see the Matterhorn, and during this retreat, we will be like 12 people, international, always crowd, from different countries and different backgrounds and different perspectives, and we will meet there. And especially for your audience, Lisa, if they send us like a note in info@travelgems.com, and write Soulful Surgeon, they will have a discount just for you, just for this retreat, because it will be lovely to see them. I have, as I told you before, when we have doctors in the groups, it's so valuable. But also, if we see medical professionals in the retreat that they meet other professionals, they can find great insights as well. Great insights, because they see life from different lens. So they can see themselves through the lives of others. And they can see that there are many commonalities or things that they can find ways to solve in their lives.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Niki, and everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. And as we close out the session and actually start the new year, I want to wish everyone a happy new year, and really think about, as you start 2026, how do you want to show up? And really, as we've talked in the whole end of 2025, we talked about the 7 remedies of being, and really thinking about each one of these beings and working on those, and really cultivating how we can show up as the most authentic human beings and come away from the human machines. So thank you, Niki. Thank you for joining us
Thank
today.
you.
And we'll see you next time. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you for joining me on the Soulful Surgeon podcast. I hope today's conversation offered you reflection, encouragement, and a reminder that you are not alone on this journey. If this episode spoke to your heart, please share it with someone who might need it as well. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a moment of connecting with healthcare workers all over. You can find us on the web at soulfulsurgeon.com. You can find us on Instagram at Soulful Surgeon. And you can find us on LinkedIn at Lisa Hunsicker, MD. Until next time, take care of yourself the way you care for others. And remember, your story matters here.